What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be rebuilding the M5 block. Right guys, so a quick recap. As you've probably seen in the last two videos, if you haven't already watched the last two videos, head over there, watch them, come back here, and then let's take it over from there. So, block. We've taken the engine out, we've stripped it down, we've pulled down the block, we've been waiting for the parts to come. I'm glad to say the parts are now here, so it's time to get this thing put back together. Right, so in the last video, we explained we're going to look at an upgrade for the rods. We've looked, they're not a bad price, around about £1,000 for a set of rods, but we've talked, and this car is a daily for my wife Sarah. We're going to keep it standard. We've found the rod from the breakers. He was here in 2 days, around about £70, which is perfect. We thought we had the ACL mains. We don't. We only have the big end ACL, so we're going to put the big end ACLs in. We're going to put the standard mains in, and let's get to it. Look at these guys. Look at these nice new parts we have here. So we have 8 new Marley pistons with rings. As you can see, there's a BMW number. All checked, all correct, perfect. We have new rear end main seal. We have some gaskets for the sump pans. We have new main bearings, standard, perfect. We have some standard big end bearings, but we're going to be installing these, the ACL upgrade. As you can appreciate, these just don't cut it in these engines, so we're going to go for this upgrade. We have the replacement coil pack, which when we removed it, this section came off. So same again, second hand, £9.99 eBay, perfect, absolutely just what we want. If we can reuse and upcycle, that's perfect. We have the injector decoupler seals. Same again, very expensive, £50 for these, just for these few seals. There's one standard one already offered injector that we took out of the car just to measure up, and 4 new ones, so £10 a piece. Absolutely crazy, to be honest. Then we move on. So we have number 5 piston. This one, same again, eBay from SCB Breakers. Absolutely incredible service. Was here within 2 days. So big up to SCB Breakers. Same part number on the conrod there, ready to go back in. We'll be replacing this piston, but as you can see, not a bad condition item. And lastly, top end set, head gaskets, every single O-ring, every single seal that we're going to need to get this thing built up like brand new. When we install the pistons, we've picked up this little thing, a Wise Echo. It's the first time I'm using one of these. It's a tapered, let me just get it out the box for you to see. Absolutely, we have a tapered piston ring compressor. Normally I would use the band type compressor, but I thought for ease, for this job, I'd give this a go. Look at that, 89mm, lovely bit of kit. It here was in 3 days, so big up Wise Echo for this deal, absolutely incredible. But firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to get on it, we're going to get back to the block, we're going to start putting these main shells in, and then we're going to go from there. Quick loop tip: when building an engine, any engine, make sure you build it wet. What does that mean? Oil. So we have a tub of oil, which you can see, nothing fancy. You can buy loads of different things to build engines, posh oil cans, you know, expensive pieces of equipment, but basically all you need to do is follow the simple rules. Wet engine, which means oil, as you can see. We've got the bottom shells in on the mains. The bottom shells are with the gallery and the oil gallery drillings. The top mains are solid, which you will see. Bit of oil in, drop the shell on, A bit of oil on top, just with your finger, nice and simple. Make sure your gloves are nice and clean at all times, ready for the crank going in. Just a nice little tip. I see people build engines dry, thinking that you've got to keep them nice and clean. The wetter, the better. So when installing the crank, guys, make sure that the main bearing cap's in the correct order shown by the numbers displayed here. This is crucial. If in doubt, consult the manual. So onto the torque. As we've got on the screen, we've got 20 Newton meters and 115 degrees on the caps. So off we go. Nice fluid motion with a torque wrench to 20 Newton meters, then rotating by hand, making sure everything's moving nice and freely after each set is torqued. Onto the angle gauge, one nice fluid movement, all the way around to 115 degrees. Same again, rotate by hand, just to double check that everything's nice and free. Afterwards, mark up each set of bolts that have been torqued, just for reference, so you know which ones have been carried out. Then onto the oil pump chain, and the rear main seal being installed with its special tool that comes with it. Get the bolts in there, torque down to 10 Newton meters. Then onto the block, giving the head surface there a nice clean down, nice bit of 240 grit, nice blowout with the airline, little bit of oil on the cylinders, ready for the pistons. Right, so the block's ready for the pistons. As you've seen, we've got the crankshaft back in there. We've got it all cleaned down. We've got the cylinders cleaned. Just took a little bit of the ridge off the edge of the cylinder, what had the oil deposits on, just with a bit of Scotch-Brite paper. We're not going to own the cylinders, as I've previously explained. This is an aluminium nickel-coated cylinder block, so we don't want to cause any damage. We know the Porsche guys and all the other guys who use this type of engine don't hone the cylinders out. So we've got the new chain sprocket on there on a nice keywheel up. So we've got a brand new chain kit going in there. We have the crankshaft torque down, we have new mains in there. We're reusing the oil pump chain as explained. We've got a new rear end main seal on there, fitted with a proper tool. So everything's marked up, as you can see. So each time we've torqued a bolt, we've done an angle, we've marked it to say that it's been done, so we didn't get lost. Right, onto the pistons. So I'll take you over here where Danny is. Here we go. So, as you can see, all the new pistons are on the rods. Danny's been hard at work. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, but no number 5. And this is why. So, we've bought a second-hand rod, but we found a problem. It's quite a serious one. This rod, again, is bent. We've measured it, we've put a gauge on it, so our gamble for a second-hand rod hasn't worked out. Second-hand parts are good, but always double check before you start installing things, because we'd have been in the same situation had we put this back in there.
Yeah.
So we're either going to contact the company, see what they can do for us, or we're just going to simply go out and buy a brand new standard rod. We'll see, we'll contact BMW and we'll see how much one is.
Who knows?
If it's more expensive than going down the forged rod route, we'll see. Maybe end up putting some H-beams in after all. So the plan now, we're going to get these in, we're going to show you how it's done, we're going to put the ACL bearings in, we're going to use our new Wise Echo tool to install them, see how that goes, first time using one. Yeah, so let's hit it. Right, so Danny's here with this little tech tip on the pistons and what we should be knowing about bank 1 and 2 pistons. Right, Dan, what we got?
Right, so basically, on strip down of the engine and pulling the pistons, we found that each cap had the arrows, as you can see, on that one there. So it's very important to make sure that bank 1 and 2, the crown of the piston is opposite to the arrow per side. So the way we made it simple was we looked at the bank 1 side and we found that the numbers on the cap and the actual rod itself lined up with the larger side, and then it's the opposite for the opposite side. So as you see there, that's the opposite side. So that goes to the smaller side of the crown of the piston. So if you look at it in comparison,
so basically the pistons are opposite
so the
way around.
Yeah, so it's very important to make sure that you label things up correctly and that you get it right, because the last thing you want is to build the engine, put them in the wrong way around, and then you'll just cause all sorts of problems. So another thing that I found when building up the pistons was, these are the standard ones that have come out of the car. As you can see, loads of carbon build up on the top of there from the burning of the oil, as you can see. So each piston was labelled up, but what I found was that the new Marley setup, which are a standard size anyway, the gudgeon pins are a slightly different style. Now whether this is an update from BMW and they've decided to put, because as you can see on this one, it's got a tapered inner on there, and on the new style it's sort of a hole, there's no tape or anything, it's just a flat each side. So whether that was an update on the S63 from BMW, we're not sure. But yeah, it's just something to know if you're unsure, sort of, if you get to this stage. So
right, I hope that has helped you out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into it. We're going to get these pistons in. We can't put number 5 in, as I explained, bent rod. Let's get number 6, 7, 8, flip it over, get bank 1 to 4 in. Let's show you how it's done. Pistons are in, time to torque the rods. We've got a nice handy set of torque specs here. Somebody on a forum put this list on, really nice and clean. So we'll go to conrods, which you can see, and we'll scroll down. There we are, S63T. And we're going to go for this top set. So we're going to go 5 Newton meters, 20, 30, 75 degrees on each rod. Mark them up as we go. So let's go. Right, okay, so we've got the conrods in, all torqued down. As you can see, we used the angle gauge and got it down to 75 degrees, which is absolutely critical. It all moves great. We can't put number 5 in due to the rod issue that we still have, by the way, as you'd previously seen. So we're going to source a rod, get back to it, get that number 5 piston and rod in there, then we can crack on with the engine timing, get that in, get the sumps on, get the oil pump back in, get all this bottom end sort of buttoned up and finished, flip it over, get the heads on. We'll show you how to do the heads on the next video, how to do the Valvetronic system. So thank you very much for watching, guys, really appreciate it. So like, subscribe, and just remember, keep learning, stay humble.